What's up YouTube, Dan here from Zephyr wargames. Bringing you, as you can see before you, an updated Dark Magician deck. Now this is more of a different variant. This is more of a draw variant with Ghost Reapers mained. So the idea is that you go first, trying to lock your opponent out and stopping them accessing their extra deck. It's also got a couple of Kaijus in there now. This deck is it can be changed. Like, it's definitely down to personal preference. I just feel that a deck that can main Kaijus without them being just a bricked issue is strong in this meta. It also, the ability to activate Reaper. If your extra deck, like Dark Magicians, they don't have to have a full 15 card extra deck in the sense that they all have to work with the deck. So they have the space there for your Reaper targets. So again, it's another plus that they can use and abuse. So without further ado, we're going to crack straight into this and show you what we've got. So everything else is pretty standard. So you start off with your triple DMs. No argument about it. You play 3 of these guys regardless. Triple Magician of Dark Illusion. Again, you must play 3 of these. Triple Magician's Rod. Again, a must. This card searches out everything you need. Dark Magicians, your circles, your navigations, your eternal souls, your illusion magics, your dark magic stats, anything you need. Then we go on to like kind of my personal touches. I like having a Fairy Tale of Snow for the pure fact that you can use it twice and the Book of Moon effect. I know sometimes cards can't be targeted, but the ability to get this on board, especially in my previous builds with the field spell Secret Villages, when they get rid of a monster, like, yeah, cool, I'm free, you banish 7, you bring this guy, bring Snow back, just to keep that spell working. 1 Kaiku, just because banishing stuff from your opponent's graveyard is a must, and it's an 1800 beta, and then not being allowed to let your opponent banish, you know, kind of helps you out massively. 2 Raiden, the multi-dimensional Kaiju, because he is a target for your Swords of 7 and your Allure. So he's a double target for your draw power, your ditch power, and obviously having the Kaiju. The only issue with him is because he's a 28 beta. Now, Dark Magicians, the reason you would drop a Kaiju on your opponent is because they have a card that can't be targeted or destroyed. That's the only reason in this deck that you would drop this guy on it. Otherwise, your alternative would be Sticky, just for a weaker drop. Because Dark Magicians, even including their extra deck, they can only get up to about 2800, which is Red Eye's Flare. But obviously, Illusion Magic, Illusion Magician, and Circle Banish. So that would be the only reason you would drop a Kaiju on your opponent. And then next up, you play 2 Reapers. Now, you can put in a third if you want to. You can take the Kaijus out. Now, I've chosen to go with Reapers not instead of barriers. I would like to have barriers in here as well, but the deck is so tight at the moment. But I would say you could probably take out your Reapers for your barriers. It's just whatever you think is going to be strongest. Now, obviously, you can't main every extra deck card out there for your targets for your Reapers, but when we get to the extra deck, you can see this deck can actually main quite a few. She's also an Allure target as well, so if she's a dead draw, you can banish her with Allure without getting rid of your Dark Magicians. So that's it for the monsters. Previously, there was obviously the rank 4 build. There is, which I quite like. There's a hero build that I also really like that I've done before. So this is more of a direct, specifically focused on the meta. Triple Dark Magical Circle, must-have card. Triple Allure, because you just want to draw. And because all bar one of your monsters is dark, as long as you draw into a monster or you've got a monster in hand, you've got targets to banish. Pot of Duality, 2 of those, because you don't special summon 9 times out of 10. Actually, I don't think you special summon at all with this deck during your turn. You would usually activate your navigations during your opponent's turn and so on and so forth, so it lets you get your option draws. 2 Sacred Swords of 7 stars. Now, these can easily be dropped. The only reason they're in here is just for a bit more draw power. The only reason I don't like it is, number 1, you can only use it once per turn, and number 2, you have to have that 7 in hand. I mean, you've got, I think, about 8 targets. So you've got your Dark Magicians, you've got your Magicians of Dark Illusion, and then you've got your Raidens. Obviously, if you put Chaos Hunters in, which I do side in, that gives you another Sacred Swords and a Lore target. You could main them if you really wanted to, but that's only going to be down to if you're going to be facing a deck that wants to banish pretty much all the time. So if your rounds, you reckon all of your rounds are going to be banished cards, then yeah, main those in. Next up is 1 day apiece, and again, this is just a little choice of my own. This can be taken out. So I mean, activating this, you activate this during your turn. You get the draw. You protect yourself for that turn. You let your opponent draw, play, and then by the end of their turn, you then get to attack and start doing damage. It's just a protection. It's that extra draw going first, and protecting you for the turn so that your opponent can't ITK you. One pot of equivitness, yeah, one of the new pots, because basically with your Sacred Swords and your Allures, you're going to be banishing quite a bit. You don't want to see it early on. It can be a really, really bad dead draw, so you can take this out really easily. But it's just a way of recycling your Dark Magician, so you don't feel as, if you have this card in hand, you don't feel as bad banishing your Dark Magician, because then you can just go bang and bring it back. And obviously it's good against other decks that like banishing their stuff as well. So that helps out massively. Next up, we've got Back Row Destruction, Dark Magic Attack because you can, and an MST because I like the ability to top deck this without any cost. 1 Rogeki for board wipe. Some people are siding this out. You can do that if you wish, but sometimes Dark Magicians have their back up against the wall. They just go bang, clear, gone, and they're off. Dark Magic Inheritance. I didn't used to like this card, but then I tried it out at regionals, and it actually did really well for me. It's that extra search to get you the cards that you need. 1 Illusion Magic, just to get your Dark Magicians to hand, and everything else. Then on to the traps. Triple Navigation, Triple Eternal Soul. Now, Navigation can be a little bit of a dead draw because obviously you only want the one because you have to have a Dark Magician in hand. But obviously it's really, really good for the Graveyard effect to banish and negate. That protects your stuff. And then Eternal Soul. Now, I did used to play Starlight Road in this. I have taken it out because it's such a situational card. Yes, it works really, really well if you have it first turn, but if you don't, it's kind of a when will I get it to protect my stuff anyway. But Eternal Soul just lets you search out your Dark Magic Attack and then circle around your Dark Magicians from grave. 1 Escape from the Dark Dimension because obviously you're going to be banishing quite a lot with your draw cards. This helps bring any of them back. And then obviously if you bring back a Magician of Dark Illusion, he can then go off and bring back, as long as you've popped a circle, as long as you've got a circle active, he can then go off and bring a Dark Magician back, so he's a 2-for-1 kind of thing. 1 Vanities, 1 Strike, 1 Warning. You can obviously bump up the strikes, but you know, this deck build is just so tight at the moment as it is. I think it comes to like a 42 card deck, so there's definitely cards that I need to cut from here. But for now, it kind of works. And then on to the extra deck. So these are your Dark Magician targets, or your cards you'll actually use. So you're a Bon Illusion. The Bon High you very rarely use, but you know, it's good to have just in case. Big Eye, Red Eye's Flare. And then it's very rare, but if you have if you have Kaiku and Fairy Tale Snow on board, you then have access to Utopia the Lightning if you absolutely have to, Abyss Dweller and Castel just to be safe. So these are your safety cards if you absolutely must have them. And then you've got Phantom Knight Breakswords, which you can use with 2 rods, and Dante you could use with 2 rods, but he's also in there as a Reaper target. And then obviously your other Reaper targets are ABC Buster, Mephos Mithrilium. Now I chose Mithrilium over Alkahist because I feel that more Mephos, like the issue with Mephos is they're so, they can adapt, like they don't have to go into one or the other. But I feel that Mithrilium is quite a nice one for them to be able to shuffle back stuff and bounce stuff. So Mithrilium was probably a higher target for me than Alkahist. But obviously this could easily be Alkahist, or you could put the pair in, but it's very rare you're going to get both of them off. Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, and Totally Awesome, obviously. That's pretty standard. You can easily put a Dark Claw in here as a target as well. It's really, these cards, so these, you know, those spots, and then if you wanted to, you could take out those spots as well. So those kind of 9 spots are down to what you feel you're going to be facing. These can be 9 cards of anything. Pretty much these are the only real cards you need in the Dark Magician extra deck, per se. Now, again, it's down to personal preference. If you want to bump some of these up, bump some of them down, put in some more rank 7s, however you want to go with it. But 9 times out of 10 you're going into a Bond Illusion for the banish effects, Big Eye to steal stuff, and Red Eye's Flare just to go for game. So you do have quite a lot of space in the extra deck to work with and to tweak and to kind of like use and abuse per se. So yeah, that's the Dark Magician more draw based deck profile with remained Reapers. So it's more like a Dark Magician Reaper build, and again it's more for regionals. It's more for the main, when you go to a tournament and you know 100% sure you're going to be facing these decks, this deck, this deck, and this deck, you can then adapt to that and make your extra deck and your Reapers more live. I do have like a bundle of cards next to me that are also, they're alternates to put in. So you put the Spider Kaiju in instead if you want to, like we said before. Obviously, this is kind of like side decks as well. You've got barriers, so I would definitely side these cards no matter what. Starlight Road, if you want to, you can put that in. Then you've got the Secret Village and the Terraforming kind of addition that you can put in just to stop your opponent activating spells. You can put in Cards of Demise. I have done a build with that, and it works really well for me. But again, it's down to personal preference. You would take out all your hand traps, you would take out the Reapers and stuff like that. Quaking Mirror Force, because I really love this card. Obviously, you've got your Max Siege, you've got your anti-spells that also go into the sides. And that's pretty much it. You could put Pot of Desires in there. I really don't like that card. I think it's way overpriced, but it works in certain decks. I don't think it works in Dark Magicians as well as in other decks. But it is doable. I mean, it's a two-edged sword. You want to make sure you've got an Illusion Magic in hand, or you need to make sure you've got your Dark Magicians in hand and maybe a circle on that on board just to be safe when you do activate it. But this is a cheaper build per se. I mean, I know Navigations have gone down a bit, Circles have gone down a little bit as well. Reapers is probably your only expensive card in there, well, the most expensive card at about 25-30 quid I think they are at the moment. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's kind of a, you could take the Reapers out and go back down to a 40 card deck, and again it's still relatively cheap depending on how you want to play the deck. But yeah, this is my Dark Magician build. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a big thumbs up on the video. Comment, subscribe, let us know what you think. It's definitely it's one of the variant, like I said before, I could do my own playlist on this channel with the amount of Dark Magician variants that I've gone through in the past. And it's probably going to update when Illusion Apprentice Magician comes out. But when we get that or not, we'll never know. Not so soon anyway. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always guys, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available. We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button right in the bottom left hand corner.